first thing, what's the best thing about cross country? Instead of running long distances and being miserable, you get to run those long distances miserable, but with your friends.
Oh yeah.
All right, the memories. I'm gonna hold off to the memories for a little bit. Because there's a lot of memories actually. All right, so I'm gonna move on to what was your favorite race invitational? I'm gonna say Woodbridge 2022, my junior year. The race was so fast, it was fun. It was dark, it was crazy too. Running with several hundred juniors and that competitive nature was just really unreal. And it was something to never be forgotten. I also hit a huge PR that day, 20:45 I think. And then Mr. Winter was very proud of me, which he never really is. During my race, this is like a part of the race, right? It was just really pitch black, and I couldn't really see. And there was like this random woman who came out of nowhere, and I ended up like ramming her into like the next dimension. And I didn't really care to stop because my PRs are more important than that. So that was pretty much it. My motivation to run. So this is the 42-minute incident, or 45. What do you guys call it? Okay. This race is really embarrassing. All right, so this was like my first cross-country race. I had like a week of practice. Mr. Wynn did not really care about how much practice I had, so he just sent me off to a race. I was really nervous. I didn't know I was gonna do good in that race. I started off. I was nervous. I didn't know if I was gonna do good. I ended up walking the majority of the race. The last 2 miles, I walked the entire race. I remember I came back. I felt disappointed in myself. I considered quitting, and then the seniors were telling me like, you know, you shouldn't quit right now. Like, you still have your entire season left. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking like, no, like it's not really worth it. And then I watched the senior varsity race, and just watching how fast they ran, the PRs they hit, the medals they earned, something sparked in me to like think like I should continue doing this. I feel like there's like some sort of like, if I continue with it and progress through it, I can maybe one day be just like them. They started off being bad runners, and they were there just hitting 16s, running 17s, and coming back with medals and making the team look proud. Then I was thinking I was gonna stick with it, and then the next couple of weeks, I said in the program, the Lake Paris race, I ended up running at 30, so a 12-minute PR. So hey, it's something. And that's where I found my new motivation. And at the end of the season, I ran at 23:20. So the rest is history. All right, let's start with the memories. Actually, it's a good amount of memories. All right, so my sophomore year, let's start off my first practice. Coach Rick, you know exactly what I'm gonna say. All right, so my first ever practice. So I didn't know what cross country even was. I kind of wanted to do something during my high school years. I didn't really know what to do, so I was thinking cross country can't be that bad. It was pretty bad that day. So I come out. It's a basic practice. It's just warm-ups, and we're gonna do in and outs. So the warm-ups I do terrible in, but then we have to do the in and outs. It wasn't not 2 laps in, I throw up all over the track, right? And then at the end, there's like a trash can. I end up running to the trash can. I didn't throw up in the trash can. I threw up everybody's stuff. Where's Royal at? I threw up all Royal stuff all over his stuff too. And then yeah, that's my first practice. And then Coach Rick and Mr. Winter thought I was gonna quit. I came back the next day, and that's it. All right, next memory from my sophomore year. Getting lost on the horse trail the first time when we were doing mile repeats. It's when we were doing the NBC mile repeats. And since I was like very slow, like really, really slow, I basically ended up being way in the back, and I went through like the streets and everything, and I ended up going like the opposite way of Rancho, and I ended up being lost. And then I remember like I had to go make my way back around because like they were fixing the cement or something on the sidewalk. And Mr. Winter was like, "Where were you? I thought you got kidnapped or something." And I was just like, oh, I don't know where I was going, so. All right, move on junior year. This one's a little bit more personal, not really personal, but it's just more something about Ethan. Where's Ethan at? There he is. So I don't know why, but every summer practice, Ethan would just throw up every single time. I don't know why, but it was something that always happened during the every practice. Like we'd be running like the Lake Paris, and we were just coming back, and then you just see like Ethan just dying on there. He's a good runner, but it's just something I always found out. Last year, bear camp. If you were there, if you were there at bear camp, it was horrifying. The van ride there with me, Chris, Aiden, Dylan, and Ethan, stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened there. Where I got my first kiss, if you know what I'm trying to say.
All right.
So, a specific kid, I won't mention his name.
His name?
I'm not even gonna continue with the story. The story is horrible. I'm not continuing with that story. That story is horrible. All right, next story. How bad the schedules were during bear camp. Remember when we used to wake up at like the crack of dawn when we started going, wake up, every single morning at 6 a.m. And then we had to get back up and during the evening to go run again. That was terrible. And then next story, that disgusting salad Mr. Winter made. If you ate that, that thing was atrocious. That thing was like toxic radiation to SB. Okay, hear this out. You got tomatoes, cucumbers, and lettuce. A boiled egg and ham in there. That's not a salad, bro. And then I remember I ended up going like, it's delicious. All right, and then this was one of our other runs. Mr. Winter dropping us off in the middle of the forest with no service and made us run all the way back to the cabin. It was 8 miles. There was no service. We couldn't use Google Maps or nothing. We just had our faith in God and hope to God we make it there, right?
10 miles actually.
It was actually 10 miles.
So it was 10 miles.
All right, next one is Chris breaking my ankles during football.
Oh.
So it was like during the night, and it was me and Aiden and Chris were playing football, and I was guarding Chris, right? And so Aiden tells us to go far, right? And I'm trying to guard Chris, right? And as I'm running, this guy does some samurai ninja move on me, and this makes me trip my ankle, and I go like this on all fours. And I ended up like falling on my butt in front of everybody, right? And then, if you guys don't remember Zipporah and Giselle, I remember they were laughing their butts off in the vans, right? And I remember I walked into them and I was like, it's not that funny.
Giselle threw us.
And then, I don't know if I should mention this one. The Trinity incident.
All right.
Should I mention it? Should I say it? I'll move on. If you were there, you were there. All right, and then, me, Gio, and Chris skipping the hill repeats at Lake Paris. So on this fateful day, Mr. Winter and Coach Rick had the bright idea to make us run to the dam and back while doing hill repeats there. And we didn't really want to do the hill repeats. We ran to the dam and then we ran, and then we told Coach Rick we were going to go to the restroom with Chris, right? And then we see Gabby and we see Gio walking back. They didn't do the repeats either. And I asked Chris like, do you guys want to do the repeats? And then Chris was like, yeah, nah, we're just going to go back to the school. And then we ended up being caught and we had to do burping mile the entire way there on the track. And then the next one was the Jack in the Box incident.
Oh.
If you weren't there, you weren't there. I'm not going to mention what happened, but if you weren't there.
You can't just like gatekeep stories.
If you weren't there.
Some of them were.
What if we weren't there? What if I was 4 years old?
Oh well. If you were there.
Well.
Alright, and the next one, this was something with me and Diego. We dressed up like idiots and we ran Mount Sac and we held hands the entire race. Me and Diego, if I walked, Diego walked with me. Where's Diego at? There he is. If I walked, Diego walked with me. If I ran, he ran with me. He stuck with me the entire race. We did not stop holding hands, not once. I'm better than Trinity. Where's she at? I'm better than you. I'm a better relationship than. Let's see what else. I'm gonna include some track and field ones because these were kind of funny and also kind of include some of us. When Aiden argued with the coach and almost got both of us kicked off the team, I remember, I don't know if Coach said he's gonna see this one, but I remember me and Aiden were just like messing around like we usually do, and then we were talking about how, Coach said's like bald head. We were just like laughing and we were making jokes the entire time, and then Coach was like, hey, why are you guys talking? You know what, you're gonna talk to me after this. And then we were just like, oh, what's gonna happen now? And then Coach was like, he just got really mad at us, and basically Aiden was just like, I don't like your attitude. I'm not gonna deal with this. And then he ended up saying, oh yeah, turn in your uniform, and that's it. I don't know. That's what happened. And then he always had this stupid saying. He said, if you miss a practice, you miss a meet. Like, all right. And then this year, when Chris threw up out of nowhere at the Cole and Swarm race. I remember we were done with our warm-ups, and then I remember Chris was telling me, like, he's like, oh, I'm really nervous. It's like our first race. I'm just like, it's gonna be fine. Like, you still got the rest of the season. Don't worry about it. And then as we're walking to the start line, Chris just like throws up out of nowhere, and he goes, it's not even like, it's like orange and red or something. I don't know what he goes up. Some nasty mixture or something. And then I'm just like, Chris, you good? He's like, I'm good, don't worry.
It's the hot Cheetos.
And then we ended up seeing Mr. Winter after so long. That really touched my heart. When he was at that 1 mile and I saw him, it was been a real long time since I saw him, but hey. Getting a bunch of course PRs because I got that dog in me. That's just another one I have. And then meeting all these new guys. What are they at? Micah, Kane, Alex, and Carlo being forced into cross country. And then this one's a bit embarrassing about me, but I thought Brian's name was Johnny for 2 months straight. I don't know why, but somebody told me his name was Johnny or John, and I called him Johnny for 2 months straight, and then he came up to me, he's like, you know my name's not Johnny, right? I was like, what is he? It's Brian. I'm just like, oh, my bad then. Alright, let's see. These ones. Alright, words of wisdom for my teammates. Alright, so I got 2 words of wisdom. Alright, unless you're dead or about to die, there's absolutely no reason to be skipping practice. And I don't want to hear none of this, oh, coach, my leg hurts, my shins hurt, my toe hurts. I don't want to hear nothing stupid about that. And I'm looking at you, Jacob.
All right.
I'm looking at you when I'm talking about this. All I gotta say is you just got thugged them injuries out, right? I ran my entire sophomore year with broken knees and horrible shin splints, and I was able to run a 23 at the end of this season. Unless a wild animal ripped off your legs, I don't want to hear nothing about you skipping practice. You better be at the practice on time. This one's a little bit weird, but my grandpa was a very miserable dude, but he was also pretty cool as well. He always liked hearing stories about what I did at school, and when I told him I did cross country, he was low-key, he gave me like a whole like backstory about how much of a good runner he was, and he asked me if I was good, and I ended up telling him I was like one of the slowest people on the team, and I told him I embarrassed myself by throwing up on the first day of practice, and he like scolded me in Arabic, and he was just like, sorry. He's like, you being slow is calling yourself he's like, you being slow and calling yourself a cross-country runner, it's like a cowboy being a gunslinger without his revolver. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what that means, but it has stuck with me. And then, I guess what he's trying to say was like a cross-country runner can't reach their full potential without like the right training and preparation and determination and stuff like that. And like the hard tools, like working hard makes you like the gunslinger. I don't know, it means something, but I don't know what it meant, but it stuck with me for no reason. Alright. Additional messages. This one's a little bit emotional, but I want to conclude the speech by thanking everyone here. I want to thank all of you guys. I want to thank you guys for all 3 years I had with you guys. The community that this team had was like, and the amount of like experiences that I created with you guys, it really does mean a lot to me. And if it wasn't for you guys, I most likely would have done cross country for probably a couple weeks and then moved on to a different sport. But since a lot of you guys had such positive attitudes and making such horrible and miserable long runs into absolutely hilarious moments with really fun people, I want to thank Coach Winter for a strong and motivational attitude on the team during my sophomore and junior years. Although he coached with an iron fist, he was an all-around guy, and he was really enjoyable to be around, creating such wonderful teams and bonding with each other and every one of us. Our moments with Coach Winter were absolutely amazing, and I can't regret a single moment I spent with him. Coach Winter was known for his many wise sayings, such as, "Come on, the finish line's right there," and "Catch up with him, he's slowing down," and the most emphasis of all, "Why are you walking?" I also like to thank Coach Tim and Coach Rick for their amazing effort in coaching. Coach Tim and Coach Rick always had such a good amount of spirit with us in each and every one of our races, and always believed in no matter how bad the conditions were, whether hilly or flat, cold or hot, they always knew we could run hard and knew every one of us tried our best to run. With Coach Tim's planning and coaching and teaching us how to run the races as best as we can, and Coach Rick's motivating all of our races, and hearing his mighty voice a mile away motivating us during our races, always made me happy to know that somebody was always behind my back and supported me all the way through. I also like to thank Coach Santiago. Although she didn't show to as many practices, I always appreciated when she congratulated me on all my races, whether I got a PR or not. She always knew I always ran my hardest. I'm also going to miss how fun it was to gossip about her students and Miss Farmer, as well as the other English teachers as well, and hearing the most outrageous stories that happened in her class. All right, so some concluding statements. How many years have I been on the team? 3. It would have been 4, but I didn't know cross country even existed at the time. How many years have I been on varsity? 0. I'm a JV king! Imagine me running a 20 in a varsity race while everybody's running like 16th and 17th. Like, that's not good. And then, what are my plans for after high school? Will I attend college? Where will we study? I'm gonna attend Stanford, 2024 right here. No, I'm just joking. I am MVC bound. No, I'm just joking. But I'm trying to go to UCSD or UCLA and either major in computer science or civil engineering. Mainly because these jobs make racks. They make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm not trying to die poor. like what 50 Cent said. What do you say? Get rich or die trying. That's what he said. And will I continue the run? I'll be honest with you guys. I don't got motivation to even wake up for school in the morning. So what makes you think I'm gonna get up and run on my own? But actually, I'll probably try and run on my own in college. If I ever have like time, I would run. You know, the day the sun explodes is the day I run a 4-minute mile. So I'm also thinking about hitting the gym because skinny sucks. But I want to end off the speech. I want to thank I want all the underclassmen to continue doing cross country because not only are we better than all the other trash teams at the school, but we're such a great community, and us being so close to winning CIF, I want you guys to pass down these stories and traditions, encourage others to join us, and continue the team's legacy. Thank you.
All of like yesterday's practice was really fun. When we were like all linked together, we had to use the restroom because Ariana had to go. We had to use the restroom with all of us linked
Okay,
together.
thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. Wait,
Sorry.
Oh. I was in there, bro. I was like,
And me and Barbara were just outside being.
I was like, go pee.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was actually just fun. And that's all I have to say about that. My favorite race or invitational was probably Laguna Hills because it was my first race experience and the first time that I was able to hang out with the team outside of practice. And just being able to bond with the team and motivate each other through like the mile marks. And I also like the races with the long bus rides. Like it was just like peaceful, and you get to like just listen to music. My motivation to run. Well, I don't really believe in motivation to run. I believe that you just need self-discipline. If you have plans to like PR, place, win a medal, trophy, or make it to CIF, you need to be able to show up for yourself to make it possible to get there. I think I go by the quote like, stop expecting results that you know you didn't work for. So yeah. My words of wisdom. This is just like overall anything in life. It doesn't have to be just like in cross country, but just don't quit on your dream with whatever you decide to do in life, especially if it's because you're afraid that you won't make it. I think that failing is tempting, and as long as you keep going through the process and keep pushing yourself, you're just bound to get where you want to be. And then last, like, be your biggest supporter and believe that you could do it. Like, you have to believe it yourself. Additional messages is to just worry about your own journey. As long as you're outdoing yourself every day, like you're winning. And there's no need to compare your journey to anyone else's. How many years I've been on the team? 1 year. This is my first year. Varsity, I don't know. I was, and then I'm on JV now, Silva. And then my plans after high school is I am deciding to go to college. I want to attend either CBU, SDSU, UCSD, or Cal State Fullerton. I'm looking forward to major in psychology or child human development to become either a therapist or psychiatric social worker. And then, will I continue to run? Yes, I'll continue to run because it keeps me in shape and it clears my head and it gives me a chance to be one-on-one with myself and explore like the nature around me. I like to like run also for like the scenery. And yeah.
Be honest, I really didn't even prepare for this. I forgot about it. Like, I forget about a lot of things. The best thing about cross country is the friends and how close you get with them. Like, there's a certain point when you get like super close with them, like they're not even friends anymore. They're kind of like brothers and sisters. So that's what I like because like we connect. You know what I'm saying? Like connect. Like, yeah. My favorite memories in cross country is like George said, breaking his ankles in football. Cause that was probably like the funniest thing. All I did was a simple jab step, and I was just walking, and all I heard like was a dirt skid, and he just fell on the ground. He just fell straight on the ground. I don't know. The other ones was Diego pulling Aiden's pants down, pantsing him in 6th period in Mr. Nash's class up there. It was the funniest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. I was cracking up for like about, I don't even know, like 30 minutes, an hour. And when Aiden did it to Diego too, that was funny too, because they got each other. Let's see what else. Dude, I only wrote 2 things on here. God,
Where's the wisdom?
no, okay. Not yet. My favorite race is Woodbridge. Woodbridge because I like how fast it is, how cold it is. Like, it's not bubbling hot like every other course. It's not goddamn hilly and it has like Mount Everest hills. So that's why I like Woodbridge. And it was, yeah. And I PR'd at it.
23 minutes.
Really, dude? It was not 23 minutes. It was 17. Okay. My motivation to run is the medals and trophies. Man, I love those medals, dude. Oh my God. Every time I get a medal, I get so happy. I love running the race and getting a medal. I love when they just give me the medal. I get to wear it. Oh my God, I love it. I love the plaques too. I love the plaques. And I like racing against people. I like racing against them and beating them. This is probably like, yeah. My words of wisdom is, if you're tired during a race, just breathe. Just breathe and don't think about it. And drink a lot of water before a race, because a lot of times I did not drink a lot of water before a race, and I was dying. Like OV, I didn't have any spit in my mouth, and I was about to die. Additional messages. Be hydrated. Be hydrated and eat good, or else you will regret it. And a good example is Jacob eating pozole for the race. That's a good example. What else? I think that's about it. How many years I was on varsity? Oh, 2. And I was on the team for 2 years. Those 2 years, oh my God. Last year cross country, dude, I loved it so much. Even though I didn't get to race because of my grades. I loved being around that, like, everybody, and I love supporting them. Like, I just love supporting when you guys run. I love seeing you guys run. And I like when it's not me dying on the course, and I like seeing everybody else's face just dying. You know what? It was just filled with good memories. Like, I don't know. Without cross country, I don't even know where I would be, man. I would be choosing the wrong choices in life. You know what? That stuff. You know. My plans after high school is to go to RCC and run there and get transferred out to hopefully transferred out and do my 4 years and get my bachelor's, so I can go to the military and fly jets. I want to fly jets so bad. I love planes. So yeah, like I feel like, bro, those 4 years, man, those 4 years, bro. Will I continue to run? Yes, I will continue to run. I love racing. I love running. As much as I say I don't like it, I love it. I love it. I like racing though. I don't like the practicing part. I love racing. I think that's it. If Mr. Winter was here, God rest his soul. Amazing coach. Love him, bro. Love him so much. Dude is the best coach ever. Coach Rick, good coach too. Helped me get what I needed to get on track of my grades. Thank you. Miss Santiago too. Mr. Hernandez. Oh, thank you. You guys made me last year so good. And you guys are just like family. Thank you. Yeah, that's about it. That's it.
I say with the first question, what is the best thing about cross country?
Everybody, same respect.
I would say that friends can make cross country the best thing ever. No one likes running, but what made it so nice was just having people behind your back supporting you all the way. George in the back saying, "Run, Carla, run! If you don't, then I'm gonna beat you in the bus or something like that." It was always so funny. But I like Juan. Juan was like my buddy. He's not here today, but he was like, we always pushed each other, like whether it was soccer or cross country, and just we'd have practices off school, in the weekends, and just seeing improvements. So like at races, even if it was just PR by 30 seconds, it didn't matter. Still did better than before. What's your favorite cross country memory? My favorite memory was the Rams duel. Seeing that I got 22:58 on the clock, show my work was showing from running at home and on my own. And like I've been trying to lose weight, so like just going down from I think it was 173 to right now I'm 158. So it's like it's going down slowly,
15
but you know,
pounds.
it's like that type of thing. And like Coach Tim, helped me a lot with that. It's like that motivation. Yeah. What's your favorite race invitation of all time? For me, it was Laguna Hills because it was the first race when I didn't stop at all. Even when people were talking about the big hill and how most of them stopped right after because it killed them. But just like knowing that I didn't stop at all, even if I went slow or had to slow down, just knowing that I didn't stop kind of motivated me because it set a standard for me. Because if I didn't stop at a race where people were talking bad about it, and I was able to do it, like I know I could do better on a flat race, like something like Woodbridge, and yeah, I always set my standards there. What is your motivation or inspiration to run? What keeps me going is my weight loss, of course, and soccer. Because in soccer, you can't play if you can't run. And although it's not the same because, you're doing something, I feel like running is more, or cross country is more mental because when you're running and just knowing that, I got 2 more miles to go, I got 1 more mile, it can stop you. You can become demotivated. But just if you have a strong mentality, you can keep going. And I feel compared to soccer, soccer you could have skill and all that, but if you don't have that mindset, you're not gonna play well. If you're playing nervous, something that I gotta work on. You panic a lot, that type of stuff. You're gonna mess up. You bring down the whole team. And the same thing with cross country. You don't win. The team doesn't win by one person. It's the whole team, and you all gotta have that mentality, just to keep going. If it's not for yourself, do it for your teammates. Do it for your school. That's who you're representing. What are my words of wisdom? I mean, I already said it. It's all in your head. Like you're a junior, right? Like you still got 1 more year. Like, you gotta push through it. Practice on your own. For me, it always felt good when, like, at the beginning, I would always at practice and stuff, I'd be like the last one to finish or something. And then just seeing throughout the years throughout the like practices and just I'll be passing up people. I finish off, maybe not the top 10 or something, but I'll still be finish off better than when I started or the week before. And it's just like Jacob, like who's in their junior year or anybody else, sophomore, junior, freshman, you start off from somewhere. You can keep going. It doesn't matter where you start off from. You could start lower than somebody else. Somebody could be more fit. Maybe you're not as fit as they are, but you can still surpass them. You all have that potential. And I'd say that's my words of wisdom. But having additional messages, just always try your best. If you're not dying on the floor at the end of a race, like I was sometimes, then I think you didn't try your best. And I feel, I don't even know how to say it, but at practices, it's fun, make it fun, but at the same time, you should also be running, pushing yourself. Whether you're way with that with music, it doesn't matter what it is, dead silence, doesn't matter. Just always push yourself to the end until you can't no more. You'll be fine the next day, or in a few hours, you'll be fine. But yeah, just push yourself until you can't no more. This is my first year. Cross country is my senior year, so it's just 1 year. But I'll definitely still be running after. This was like the spark, because it's running. People are always talking like, oh, they're cross country kids, like they're weird or something. But just let them talk. Let them talk all this shit. Let them talk all that. It don't matter because it's all about your achievements, not theirs. They could just be sitting back, having D's and F's in their classes, doing nothing with their life. But if you're doing something, you're running that, and people don't like that. But if you're running, that's your own achievement. That's your own motivation. Right? How many years have been on varsity? Like I said, I started off this year, so I was not on varsity. I was on JV, but that don't matter to me. What are your plans after high school? I want to be a pharmacist and own my own pharmacy later on, so I'm gonna go to college. Planning probably UC Irvine, but it's like money situation, so probably MPC after. And then, yeah, like I said, own my business later on. Yeah, I'm attending college. I'm gonna be a pharmacist. Will I continue to run? Yes, I will continue to run. It sucks, but there's a lot of things that come good with it. Like I said, it's a mental thing. You got a strong mindset, and it keeps you fit. You know, so it's always good to be fit. It's never good to be unfit. And yeah, I think George, he helped me a lot, whether it was off the field or off the races or on races, because me and him got a lot of classes together. But we always motivate each other. You know, just seeing his accomplishments always helped me. And Diego helped me a lot. He taught me what pace is, and I've been working on that. You know, like I said, it's slow progress, but he's one who like helped along with the Laguna race, the Laguna Hills race. That day is when he told me like what he does, what's his like agenda, I guess, and like I don't know. I'd say he's the reason that I knew what I was doing in cross country and stuff. Who else? Oh well, Juan's not here, but like I said, Juan helped me a lot. Yeah, he was like my inspiration, I guess, cause I don't know. He showed like progress photos from him like a couple years ago. You know, he was more chubby and stuff. I don't think he cares about it if I'm telling you, but you know, just seeing that just kind of proves that it's possible. People are always gonna talk. You're gonna be brought down. Just keep going. Never be discouraged by one bad race. I heard that I don't even know who, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, I did bad in this race," or "I could have done better. I stopped." Doesn't matter. Like, you could have your bad days. Just never let it bring you down, and change your motivation. Just always keep going. And I think that's it. But I want to thank you all. It's my last year. This is my sport. I don't really know most of you like soccer, but for the ones I do know and the ones that helped me, thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot, and I know you guys got a lot of potential. You guys can go far. And
I'm gonna try to make this quick. Because I know we're all trying to go trick-or-treating or something. But anyway, let's begin now. What is the best thing about cross country? I would say the best thing about cross country is the people you run with. You know, the people there, you see you at your worst, your best. You know, you see each other when you're throwing up at the finish line. You know, whether it's Ash and Ariana telling you that your form looks amazing, or it's Diego and Felipe telling you to run faster and run a 16 or something, or David telling you to eat up those hills, or Ethan taking amazing photos of you running.
Oh yeah.
Or it's Alex finding random water fountains in the middle of a long run and then screaming at you, trying to scare you. No. Like, I think the experience is like a whole family, and it just makes it better. So what's your favorite cross country memory? So I have a couple. So it was my first time trial last year, and I only had a couple days of practice. And I remember I walked up, and Andrew was with me most of the time trial. And then toward the end, I hear Coach Cindy passing up with her stroller with the kids. And she passed me the time trial, rolling kids, and I was still, oh my God, I don't know how she did that. I ended up getting like a 26 or something. What else? Let's see. Oh, another one was when I had shin splints all season last week, and it was the week before Paris Valley Showdown. And actually, Coach Cindy told Coach Winter to like give me a break, and so Coach Winter made me ride a whole like squeaky bike with like no oil on the tires, and it was a 13-mile long run, and they were going to the horse trail. And I kept passing everyone, and they were all saying, "Come on, like, let me get on that bike or something." And I kept going up the hills. That was fun. Another one was this year when at Laguna. It was such a terrible race this year. It was so hot. And I was just like crying. Like I cried during the whole race. Like Miss Santiago, you were there. I was just ready to quit. Like I was about to say DNF on my name. Like I'm not joking. And then for the final memory, I would say it was we were going to Miss Santiago's room after morning. So, we were going to Miss Santiago's room after morning practice, and she was trying to curl her hair.
I was there.
And her foot got caught on the backpack strap, and she fell straight on her face, like she fell straight on her face, like flat on her face, like it looked like a murder scene. Like you could trace her outline. That was so funny. Oh my god. All right. Anyway, what is your favorite race or invitational of all time? My favorite invitational is Woodbridge. You know, you can't beat the feeling of racing at night with all the lights shining on you. This course holds a special memory in my heart because it was where I got my first PR and I ran my first varsity race. Now, the results of those races, we don't talk about, because those varsity girls were like different speed. We don't talk about that. What is your motivation or inspiration to run? I would say my motivation to run comes from the feeling of seeing your hard work pay off. You know, this year I had doubts that I wasn't going to run as well like I did last year, especially at the beginning of the year. Like I was hitting like 24s, 25s. But thankfully we got the right training and we kind of nailed it down. And so I was able to break 23 this year, so that was something special to me. Thank you. Words of wisdom, this was actually inspired by Ali, so some credit goes to Ali. But I would say don't ask Diego for advice on what workout to do. Like, don't ask him. You're gonna regret it. Never ask him. Additional messages. I want to give a special shout out to Ari, Evie, and Ali for motivating me to be in the sport. Especially Evelyn, who chose the sport in the first place. We could have been doing what? Yeah, we could have been doing tennis, golf, riding charter buses to a golf course. But no, she chose this sport, so I wanna thank her for that. I wanna give a special shout out to the coaches, Coach Winter. You know, always motivating me, and yeah, you're a really amazing coach. You know, he's not here because it's Halloween. Coach Cindy, you know, who's probably taking the kids out to trick or treat right now. Coach Rick, Coach Tim, Coach Santiago, Coach Kalani, Coach Hernandez. I want to thank you guys. You know, you guys really helped me get through the cross country season. How many years have you been on team? I want to say 2 years. How many have you been on varsity? 2 years. Plans after high school? I'm gonna go to hopefully a college in California. No, major? I don't know, but hopefully we'll decide. Will you continue to run? Yes, I will continue to run. I'm never gonna stop running till I run a 17, like Diego has told me to do. It may not be this year. Not gonna be this year. It could be 50 years. Who knows? But yeah, that's it.
I've been on the team for 2 years, and the 2 years I've been on the team have been the best 2 years of, you know, of running. Not only has my love for the sport grew, but my whole personality has low-key been running now. That's all I think about now is like, I can't go a day without not running. Even if I'm injured, like I still find a way to go out and run, even if it's a mile or two. Cause I feel like I've always had how you say it? Like I feel like if I didn't work out this day, that I would gain weight in a matter of seconds. Cause I used to have an eating problem, but at the end of the day, I feel like you burn it so fast that it doesn't matter. But the best thing of cross country has been, you know, the post race meals because you know like you've earned it after like putting yourself through that, putting your body through that through everything in that race, even if when it's hot. I feel like you deserve to have, you know, that meal at the end. I feel like my favorite cross country memories are when me and Cassius and Trinity volunteered at the Mission In Run. All we did was literally just wave the runners where to go. And we still got like 8 hours of community service. And also when me and Aiden went to Big Bear, we got lost in the middle of the night. It was like 8 in the afternoon, and we couldn't find our way home until Chris, he pulled out his compass, what is it? And he found our way home through that. And another memory was when me and George ran through a camp. Not camp. When me and George ran at Champs, holding hands, and I put on a wig and I couldn't breathe with the wig because it was all up in my face. So I couldn't even see the race. I was literally just like letting him lead the race, and I would just like follow. But another memory was, you know, Gabby. I like bothering Gabby for some reason. It's just the best. I always tell her to run 16s, but I feel like she'll get there one day. Another memory is when Chris gave me those salty pills at OV. They were meant for rehydration, but instead I felt like it made it worse, and I had like in the middle of the race I couldn't, like my mouth just felt so dry. But it was that race when in the middle of the race, I had a cramp too. I don't know if it was because of that or because of something, but I cramped in the middle of the race, and I still got a 17. But it was bad. It was a bad race. Also, another memory was running at 6 in the morning. I know we don't do it that often, or it's not a mandatory thing, but running at 6 a.m. I feel like it was just the best time to run at. We don't do it no more because I know not everyone can make it to 6 a.m. practices, but I feel like during that time, it was, you know, one of the best memories. Also, Lizette's not here no more, but Lizette taking those pictures in our races were one of the worst things ever because we never came out good in those pictures. And you could look back at our Instagram page, and none of those pictures they're just horrible. Everyone is just horrible. Also, another memory for me was when I ran my first race last year. I ran a 22, and at the end of the year, I ran a 16 because Winter helped me a lot during that time. And I feel like during that time, he would always push me to become better. And I don't know how he did it, or how I did it either way, but I like to thank Coach Wenner for pushing me through every race, being there at the finish line, always telling me the finish line's right there, even though it was not right there. We still had like a whole half a mile left. Or he would always tell us sprint because we're almost at the finish line, even though the finish line was nowhere near. Another thing I like to mention was and also another memory I like to point out is I liked running with all of you guys has been, you know, the best. Even if like everyone that's new, we grew bonds so quickly, and I feel like it's just like a family. Like even if you guys just came in this year, I feel like we all got to know each other in a matter of like a couple races. Even though not everyone showed up, I feel like we all just like connected. Another important thing that was seeing everyone PR, because I feel like when everyone PR'd, everyone got so happy. Like seeing the new people PR, like it just made me happy to see you guys PR, and telling everyone how you guys did in your guys' races. Honestly that motivated me honestly to do better in my race. And my motivation to keep running comes from my coaches like Hernandez, Coach Kalani, Coach Santiago, Tim, and Coach Winner, because especially Coach Hernandez, when we ran track, but I was not good at it at all. I ran, I think, my 2 miles at 13 minutes or worse. No, 15 minutes my first race, and it was just bad. And until he told me to join cross country, I remember he's the one who actually told me to join cross country, and George, because I was with George. Me and George were like the worst ones on the track team. We had no clue what we were doing. But yes, and also George, he always helped me, and he's the one who also told me to join cross country. But also Coach Rick, same as well. You know, always being there at 6 a.m. this year, and you know, being there to do morning practices, because you know now all of our coaches can be there, but as long as we had one coach, or Coach Santiago being there too at 6 a.m., even though not everyone would show up, it would only be like 4 people showing up. They would still be there, opening up the gates, opening up the showers, just for us to have 6 a.m. practices. And Trinity, also I like to mention Trinity because she would always be there too. She would always keep me going, and for being there in every race, for always waiting in the finish line. She would always have water at the finish line. At the finish line, she would always be there telling me that I did really good, even though I know sometimes I wouldn't do good at all. She would still tell me that I did good, but she was the one who kept me pushing throughout the race, and I always thought of that throughout the races, that she would always be there at the finish line. I feel like another motivation would be, I know he's not here right now, David, but he's different. That guy is different. He I don't even know how to say. He's just different. That's the end for David. He's just different. But whenever I would have something happening, or like if I would need motivation, he would give me a whole speech of like to keep going, to not give up on yourself, to keep pushing throughout the races, even if it's hard. Pain is temporary. At the end of the race, you'll feel perfectly fine. Because that's true. I feel like the pain in the race, you feel like it's the end of the world, but once you finish, you get like 10 seconds or like a minute of pain and you're fine again. You know, it's not like that pain lasts forever. My favorite race would be Woodbridge, because it's just, I feel like it's just the best race. It's all flat, it's grass, especially since it's nighttime, it's cold. So I feel like that's a PR course. I didn't PR at that race, but I still liked it a lot. My words of wisdom to everyone would be, even when it gets tough, I feel like we all have each other. You know, we're not alone. Every run we have together builds memories that will last forever. You know, I feel like you're always gonna remember this in high school. I feel like you're gonna be like, oh, we ran together. And every race we have together, I feel like, you know, you're always gonna remember that we had each other at the end of the day. My plans after high school are to attend Mount Sac College and continue running and apply to the nursing program. I feel like, and a message to underclassmen would be, you know, keep going and keep doing it. And I feel like cross country is the best sport, in my opinion, you know, out of all the sports. And
Twin one, Ariana. All right, just to make sure. All right, the first one is, what is the best thing about cross country? Best thing is definitely the friends you make and the people you run with. At first, when I joined, I was like, I just joined so I can be better than someone over here. But then I realized like it's more than that, and you made so many friends, and you want to go to school more all of a sudden because you get to skip school and go to these races and just talk and hang with all your friends and talk to all the teachers and the coaches, get to know about the inside, any cheese bin stuff. My favorite cross country memory, I have a lot. So I think the first one had to do with running camp. I know everyone dreaded it and the food was, oh my god, it was horrible. But I think it was those medium runs, like 5 miles and less. Those are my best runs I ever did. I got to run with like Zipporah and Giselle and Evelyn. And I was like, oh my god, like I can actually run, like I'm not lazy, like I can actually do this. And then, this one's like controversial, but I actually did like Mount Sac. I like everything but the running at Mount Sac. I like how there was a photo shoot before you go on the starting line. I love that photo shoot. I felt myself in there. It was great. I watched everyone fall at Mount Sac. It was hilarious. I saw Ash.
What did I do?
I saw the Ash all the way from the top. She ran and then she started walking.
I don't know who that was. That was not me.
And then the other one, both my favorite overall cross country member was the Inland Empire Challenge 2022 and 2023, because every time we go there we have so much extra time, so I get to make so many different TikToks and I get to cheer on people, and it's so, I love that course. It's so flat, and I always see people I went to elementary school with, and it's like amazing. It's like a meet and greet like 10 years later. So yeah. My favorite invitational, I know this is everyone else's, is Woodbridge. I love Woodbridge. I was like, Evelyn talked about her sophomore year about this like amazing races at night, and I'm like, that's so dumb. Like, why are we racing at night? We should be in bed. And then it got changed to a different course, and she named it Woodbridge. And I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. And we got there, I was like, there's a million people on this course. And it was so amazing, like having this extra time to play on the playground, talk to different teams, see the course, and it being flat was amazing. And that race was like, I was like, oh my god, I actually feel like a cross country runner. I felt like I'm part of this team, and I PR'd. 23, guys. Best moment of my life. Like, was I in the back? Maybe, but 23 is a 23. And then my motivation to run is to be like, oh, imagine like there's an apocalypse or something. Someone's calling me. Imagine the apocalypse or something, like you need to know how to run right now. So that's how I always remind myself. I'm like, oh, I gotta be ready for that moment. So that's my motivation.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I gotta hang up. And then my words of wisdom. I'm not trying to call out anyone, but always bring water on you on a long run. Always. That's me. All right, additional messages. I really want to thank my mom for doing this pasta night and being there for all my races and picking me up for all those practices, because I didn't want to walk so fat. I didn't want to walk all the way down to the houses. And then all the coaches with Coach Santiago and Coach Hernandez and Coach Kalani and Coach Rick and Coach Tim, for always being there, for always supporting us and going through these seasons. It means a lot to have this program, because I think it actually brings everyone together. So yeah, and thanks to all my teammates for being here and being there on those horrible runs, and it makes it a little better. And how many years I've been on this team? 2 years. On varsity, 2 years. My plan after high school is to attend either Cal State Fullerton or Long Beach to study kinesiology, so I can be a PT. And then, will I run? I'll probably say no, but then I'll say yes.
To run. This was right after we just came back from COVID, and I hated softball. I joined that my freshman year during COVID, and I was like, I don't want to do any more sports. And then I saw this ad, and I saw this Instagram page called Cross Country, and they were doing workouts throughout their computer, and they said they're gonna start doing in-person workouts. And I was like, oh, let me see, like I want to try like a new sport. And they had 6 a.m. practices the whole summer, which I thought I'd be okay with in the beginning. And so then Coach Winter would text you if you were like 10 minutes late. He's like, where are you? Where are you? Like, did you quit? And so then I was like, oh, I have to go. And the person who would take me to practice was my dad. And throughout the summer, he didn't want to do that anymore. Like, he just wanted to spend his mornings by himself, like, because he woke up early anyways. And he saw that I was struggling to wake up. And he tried convincing me, like, one day after practice, and he was like, Evelyn, you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to force yourself to join a sport. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, you can enjoy your mornings. He was like, I know who you are. I know you don't wake up in the morning. Like, just quit. And so the next morning, I woke up late. And I was like, and he's like, you're gonna go to practice? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, I thought my speech worked. And so then for the next 3 years, I still continued with the sport. And when he told me, he was like, oh, I think you should just quit, that motivated me not to quit, because I want to do everything he doesn't say. And then I realized that I actually do like this sport, and I wanted to continue doing it. The best thing about cross country is when you go on a long run in the summer when it's really hot, and you have a cold water bottle with ice right where you left it, and you drink that whole thing in one gulp. That is the best feeling of cross country. Another one is early foggy morning practices, like at 6 a.m. Either a long run or a speed workout. Those are like the best. And also after every race or run, you eat a lot of food and you just feel so good. Like, it's just so good. My favorite cross country moment, I have a couple. One is when we were volunteering at Riverside, and my dad took me, my sister, and Royal, and we had to be at somewhere like at 5 a.m. And we got there at 5 a.m., but we didn't know where to go, so we got Starbucks and just walked around until Coach Winter found us and told us we were late, and we're getting 3 hours marked off our community service hours. Another one is the Lake Paris scavenger hunts. Those were really fun because you just took pictures and you were just laughing and you just like jumped in the water, or you just ran everywhere in Lake Paris, and it really like showed you how to get around Lake Paris. Another one is running camp, and Winter dropped us off in the middle of nowhere. He was like, oh, I'm gonna try this new route out. He was like, and I was like, have you tried it out before? He was like, no. Well, let's see what happens. And he dropped us off, and he went back to the cabin to go make breakfast, and he left Miss Santiago. It was the first time she was gonna go on a run, and I was way ahead of her. Like, I was speedy. And then we went up this hill, and Miss Santiago just passed every varsity girl and got past everyone. And she, like, there's this time she barely even practiced with us. And that made me realize, like, oh, I should start practicing more because even Miss Santiago's passing me. This year, Coach Tim took us running at Lake Paris, and we did the water repeats. And there's a video and it was like the first time Maribel practiced, and I was running with her, and she took Audie's phone, and she was like, I want to make a video real quick. So I like was ahead of her, and I just heard her talking to herself on the phone, and I saw the video, and it was like Maribel was like, cross country people are so weird. You guys must be on drugs or something. Like, I don't know how you guys do this for fun. And that made me realize, like, oh my god, like I do like running. Like, even though like that was a weird comment, but this is actually really fun. My favorite invitational was Woodbridge 2022 because my sophomore year I was only one running, and I hated that race. It was at a flat soccer place. There was a bunch of potholes. I knew no one on the team, and yeah, but Woodbridge 22, they moved the place, and there was a whole like playground, food trucks, a carousel. It was just so much fun, and I ran my PR there. Also there we bought fries, and we just talked to like random teams. That was really fun. My words of wisdom for the team is don't give up. Your mind gives up before your body does. Also want to keep a reminder that the top 14 in each league tomorrow get a medal, so if you want a medal tomorrow, keep on running. Also, don't go out in the first mile because you will die. Like, I'm telling you, like, pace yourself. How many years I have been on the team? 3. How many years have you been on varsity? 3. My plans after high school is to attend college, either RCC or San Bernardino, and I want to become a travel nurse. as much as I love running, I think I'm gonna stop a little bit because my shins are hurting a lot, and I'm gonna switch to like Pilates or yoga or something. Also, I would like to thank my mom and my dad. They always supported me in the running after that morning practice thing, and my mom for cooking food today. For Miss Santiago always running and motivating us. Hernandez coming to practices last season. Kalani always being here and helping us out. Coach Tim and Rick for continuing the cross country program, because without you guys we wouldn't have it, and I really appreciate you guys for choosing this. And Coach Winter for making me fall in love with the sport my sophomore year and continue running all throughout. And that's all I have.
So, as some of you know, this is my first year officially running. The past, 3 years I've ran summer conditioning, and I really enjoy those. But my sophomore conditioning, I stubbed my toe in, a groundhog hole, and I was out for 2 seasons. Anyways, what's the best thing about cross country? I really like the community we have. I like how, even though I didn't know everyone personally, like, it's still like the community we had and like the feelings we had during the race, like, sparked enough emotion in me to to scream and shout, like, to support my teammates. My favorite memory during junior year conditioning, I think it was the first time I ran around Lake Paris fully. It was around like 10 miles. It sucked so bad. But I really liked that one. I think I learned to pace myself, and even though I was at the very back, I was still proud of myself in the end because I still did it. My favorite race is Woodbridge. During that race, I think I was really proud of myself. I really set my goals to keep pushing myself throughout that race, and to keep going faster and faster to pass up each person. Yeah. Oh, also, the photos I took during that race are one of my favorites. I took a bunch. What was it? I think it was sophomore boys, because I was there for theirs. I really like those photos. What's my motivation? I motivate myself by just telling myself to keep going. Like, it's gonna end. Like, there is an end to the race, and to just not limit myself. Like, that the pain is temporary. Additional messages. Yeah, I've ran 3 years of conditioning, 1 year officially. What I plan to do, yeah, I do plan to keep running after high school. I really like the scenery that I get to run in. I think it's really beautiful out here. Even though people hate on it, I still find the beauty. I plan to go to college, hopefully at San Marcos, or maybe UCR, UCSD, and majoring in psychology. And yeah.